We're now getting lined up, ready to get out the water. You can see the tractor with the trailer on the back. Here they come. It's going to be a double lift, so they're going to lift it a little bit and then get the trailer underneath it properly and lift again. Gone out again, lined it up, it's coming in again. This is a big boat. Richard just said to the gaffer, he said, oh, at least I got something to put on Facebook today. And she is. Our home, out the water for the next, I'd like to say 6 months, but it's going to be long.
This is a cool boatyard. This is where we are now. Lots of boats here, having work done on them, people working on them. The first jobs were obvious. We had to take off the sails, take off the boom, and we made full use of the mast and used it to lower everything over the side, including the life raft. Then the yard came and removed the mast. Everything will be stored in a dry, safe place, and these will be the last things to be put back on before we leave. Okay, so now what do we do? I was only there for 48 hours, so I was keen to make full use of my time and get stuck in. You might look at the photos and the videos of the boat from the previous episodes and think that it doesn't actually look too bad. And even we were starting to agree. Our first weekend living and sailing on her made us think that, you know what, a lick of paint here, new cushions there, and we'd be good to go. But when you start to look closer, you see that the interior is old and it's tired and things are falling down from the ceiling. There's mould, there's damp and leaks, and there's also a lot of wasted space. Strange design choices from a past life.
Very nice drawers, but look how much space there is between each drawer. And like, I mean, just 3 tiny drawers in that entire massive. So it's, yeah, and the same again under this bed. 6 tiny drawers, a huge area under this bed, and this, obviously that bit there is not the back either. It's just all been boxed in, lost.
I don't get the fit out on this boat. Like, what? Right, it's just a hole here. And below the hole is a locker with nothing in it, except for the sea car. So what, you have to go through the deck to open and shut the sea car? Why does this locker exist?
I've just removed this panel, screwed in panel, right here. Look under here. Like, there's enough storage there for a thing. For a big thing. Like, I don't know, I've just put it into, like, you can get a golf bag in there, but you could get maybe 8 footballs, maybe 12 footballs.
Also, I think the drama of the flood from the leaky water tanks that first weekend, together with Hugh putting his foot through the floor, was almost like the boat speaking to us and showing us that she needs a serious overhaul. So we decided that we would need to take her back to her hull, take everything out, and that way we could check over every inch, clean mould, fix leaks, and feel confident that we had no nasty surprises. This is going to be our new home, and it's going to take us around the world. It needs to be comfortable and it needs to be right. So like foolhardy pioneers before us, we thought that the only thing to do was make a start. And before we talked ourselves out of it, we were dismantling the front 3 cabins. We ripped out everything. Wires, leather ceiling panels, beds, cupboards, shelves, wall panels, things we didn't even know what they were. We were really pleased with ourselves. Everything out, everything this way is scrap. Oh. And I get to take items and lob them over the side. Until reality hit and we started to look around, and oh my word, what had we done? If you look around at what we've done so far, it just looks like we've completely trashed it. Plus, in our enthusiasm to get started, we'd thrown out pieces of wood that were custom made for the boat.
So what I'm going to do now is go around the boat with a marker pen. All the panels I've ripped off, all the bits I've ripped off, I'm going to write on them where they're from, what they're for, and then I'm going to stack them all, store them all somewhere dry under the boat. Just in case in 6 months' time I'm sort of cutting that panel out, and what I can do is then go and use the panels I've got off, which I took off, you know, now, as a template. So when I come to cut new things in, it's just going to save a lot of time, because a lot of these panels are so fiddly to fit in, with curves, dissecting curves.
So I left Hugh with the mess that we had both created, and I went home. Now, Hugh is naturally a thinker, a planner, a man who considers things in detail before acting. But I'm like my dad, I act first and I think later, and my bad influence had left us with a big fat mess. But now Hugh was left alone, he could slow down and he could do what he does best. He decided to ignore the inside for a bit, and he built a staircase. He also built a winter cover. It's basically just a giant polytunnel. And that way we can keep working throughout the winter. See what I mean? It's the preparation that will ultimately save us time.
Boat's a mess, basically. Just a big old dumping ground of mess. I'm going to try and clear my head. Today I want to get the boat absolutely cleared of everything that doesn't need to be in here. And before I do that, I am making a big board, and it's going to have to do in progress done on it. I'm making labels. So you've got this A bracket for the propeller shaft, bow thruster service, rudder needs rebuilding. Just love that one down there. Maybe that'll never happen. Got all my notes. I'm going to get advice on everything I do. Pretty much everything. Yeah.
And as the days went on, Hugh began to reassure us both that it would be okay, and that we had a long list of jobs ahead of us, but that we can do this. People at this yard joke, and they call it the Yard of Broken Dreams, as there are people here who have literally been working on their boats for years.
So when we first got here, I met a chap. I think his Rob was his name. I'm sure he's a lovely man. He said, yeah, the dream is to do it with their boat and sail around the world. And I said, oh, great, you know, same as us. Yeah, just a dream, easy peasy. And how long have you been doing it with your boat, Rob? 12 years.
But we aren't going to be one of them. This project will get finished, and it will be an incredible family home. Hugh has even made a list of jobs using the scrap wood that we ripped out in those first 48 hours. So I guess it's not only a reminder of the jobs that need doing, but also a kind of reminder of the lesson that we learnt in those first few days. The kids are getting very excited, and whilst Daddy builds the boat, they are planning our trip. The eldest wants to go and see all the major landmarks of the world. He wants the first thing we do after crossing the channel to take a train and go and see the Eiffel Tower. He wants to go and see a volcano. He wants to see his favourite animals: frogs in South America, long-necked turtles, alligators and sea cows in Florida. And he wants to see a wombat in the wild, go on a safari and swim underwater. Our eldest daughter wants to see dolphins, blue-footed boobies, flamingos, giant tortoises. She has a visit to the Galapagos top of her list. She also wants to catch and cook a tuna, and she wants to save the ocean. Our youngest just wants a slide that attaches to the side of the boat. So, when times are tough, which they will be again, when we're in despair, questioning what on earth we've done, when we can't see light at the end of the tunnel, we need to remember the kids and their excited faces and how they light up every time they talk about our trip. We need to remember this, and we need to take a moment to realise that it's all going to be worth it. And every minute we spend working on the Esperance is a step towards making not only our dreams, but the children's dreams a reality. And maybe those first 48 hours weren't all bad. As having a dream is one thing, it's easy to say you're going to do something, but taking those first steps is really hard. So maybe trashing the place was actually the best course of action. As there's no going back now, we've made a statement, a commitment. And when we see the excited faces on the children when they see a dolphin for the first time, or when we're standing at the foot of a volcano, or sliding in the water from a giant slide, all of those doubts are going to fade. And then, only then, will we be in no doubt that we have done the right thing.